Hey everyone, welcome back to Lovely Lavender Wishes. It's Renee. I hope you're having a great day and you're very blessed. And today we are going to be working in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. And actually we are going to be focusing on, I know you've all heard this verse before, but these were final instructions to the Thessalonians. In Thessalonica. And it says, we ask you, brothers, to respect those who labor among you and are over you in the Lord and admonish you, and to esteem them very highly in love because of their work. Be at peace among yourselves. And we urge you, brothers, admonish the idle, encourage the faint-hearted, help the weak, be patient with them all. Oh, y'all, I'm still learning patience. I think I'll always be learning patience. See that no one repays anyone evil for evil, but always seek to do good to one another and to everyone. Okay, these are the verses I'm focusing on today. Rejoice always, pray without ceasing, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. Do not quench the spirit, do not despise prophecies, but test everything. Hold fast what is good, abstain from every form of evil. And then it says, now may the God of peace himself sanctify you completely, and may your whole spirit and soul and body be kept blameless at the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. He who calls you is faithful. He will surely do it. I love that. So I am using Keys of the Kingdom, and I forgot what it's called. Maybe In Everything Give Thanks. I don't know. But it's chapter 5. Verse 18 is the actual verse, is give thanks in all circumstances. So give thanks in everything. And I love these colors. These are like my favorite colors. So of course I have to use this printable. And I've had it for a little while and I haven't used it. So we are going to use it today. I did print my pages. That's why they're a little curled. I just took a paper towel and did some clear gesso on both sides. And I just let them dry naturally, and that's why they're curling. You can always take an iron, like a little craft iron, and iron your pages if that bothers you. Doesn't bother me. I have this big old stamp. I don't even know where I got it. Stampin' Up! Apparently. 2005. Very old. But I've had this stamp forever, and I'm going to use it with a few of these colors. So I have, this is Orchid Bouquet by Close to My Heart, Pink Carnation, and then this one is a Watermelon by Exclusive Inks, Close to My Heart. Again, I have a whole box of inks that I've gotten from garage sales and what have you. So these were just another one of them. So let's see. This is like a purple one. I'm gonna do. Let me see. I'm gonna put this to the side here. I know you can't see it on camera. Let me try to shift this over just a tad. So here's my pad, and I'm just gonna kind of. Actually, what I might do is just ink up. I'm just inking up like a few of these. I just got it all over me. And I'm just, I don't know, willy-nilly gonna ink up some spots on the page. And let's see. I don't know, maybe right around here. And I'm working in my interleaved Bible. Ooh, I love the little dots. Let's do some up here. And then let's do some down here. You know, this is probably not the way you're supposed to do it, but this is the way I'm doing it. I just throw the ink on there and just plop it on the page. There we go. A lot of this is going to be covered anyways, but you all know me. I like doing layers and levels and just getting a few things on. So let's do this pink. And I'm just gonna overlap. See? Let's do one right there. Looks like this is a juicier pad. I'm getting ink everywhere. juicier pad than, and I don't want them like in every spot, but I just want a few here or there. Just the different colors. Rubbing that off. As y'all know, I don't do everything. I do it my way, I should say. My way is the messy way. And my way is always the way that I tell people, maybe do as I say, not as I do, because I just kind of haphazardly do things. You probably have a way better way of doing things. Let me think. I'm going to put that one right there. See, I just want some of this different colors. I don't know. I said I was only going to do a few, but here we go again. Here we go again, y'all. Let's see. I'm going to put this one in this corner. Oh, yeah. Like that. I think that's good. Just a few of the colors. Okay, let me shut this because y'all know I will get it all over me. I'm putting those off to the side. And then I have this black one, VersaFine. As y'all can see, I already got it all over me. And I have this little, let's see, I had this set of stickers. Claudine Helmuth Studio. I'm not sure where I got these from. This is a clear stamp collection. It's got this little garment and these little birds and the bird cage and then these little dots. And I thought these little dots would be cute. So I'm just grabbing just that. But I think I'm going to wait because I'm going to wait until I see where all my pieces are going to go. So let's hit this with the dryer real quick. The heating tool. I always call it a dryer. It's a heating tool. And I have to move this. There's a box under here to hold my book up. As I'm touching this, see, look, I'm getting it all over me. Don't do what I'm doing. Don't smear it. This is why you want to hit your inks, any kind of inks, with maybe a heating tool, even just a little bit, just so you don't end up smearing it. Okay, I'm gonna move this, and I just blew everything across the table. Okay, I'm very like scattered today. It's the holidays. I am going to try to wipe some of this off so I don't make a mess on the page. Like I always say, it would be such a blessing to have like a little sink here right next to my table, but then knowing me, I would probably like get water everywhere then. So it probably wouldn't be a blessing. See, look, dropping everything. Goodness, y'all. Take a breath. Take a breath. Okay, so let's figure out where things are going to go. So these are printables, and I just fussy cut them out, printed them on regular old copy paper. Y'all know me. I've got cheap copy paper. I'm just going to use it up and print it out. Let's see, maybe something kind of like that, perhaps. And then I had, these are part of the printable as well. Thought those are cute. Then I have these little arrows. So actually, whoops, this page bent over and I got sticker on the other page, or stamp. So I'm thinking maybe have these arrows coming down like this, down the page. I had these two little pumpkins. Those can like kind of maybe sit there somewhere. This says, in everything give thanks. What else do I have? I had these little crosses that I cut out as well. I mean, I was just cutting out everything that was on the printable. And then, let's see. I have this, in everything give thanks. So I have it in 3 places. And then I have these arrows too that I just cut out. These little paper arrows, same thing. So I'm thinking those will go like that. So like this and like that. And then, oh, let me grab, I have some of these crosses too. Little teeny tiny crosses. You can always, if you don't have this printable, just find anything else that you want. Maybe use a napkin. Oh, let me see, I thought I had another. Yep, sorry y'all, I'm reaching in the camera. Okay, so I had these printables too, or these little crosses. So again, if you don't have this printable, you can use a napkin, you can use whatever picture you like. Just use what you have. You can print this out on your computer, print it out and everything give thanks with different fonts if you want. Do that. You can draw your own crosses in, all of that. So I'm thinking it probably would be better if I did my black, I'm just gonna move this, my black stamping first, because I think I'm gonna cover some of it. So I'm just gonna put these little dots and circles just in a few spots in the corners. Some right there. I don't want it to be like all just matchy-matchy like here. I'm gonna put some up here. Like that. Let's put some down here if I can get it in this. Just like that. Overlapping a little. Let's do some right there. And maybe one or two right here. We'll just kind of go on an angle right there. There we go. Anytime you add like just a splash of black, I've said this before, whether it be lines or a little stamp or whatever, it makes everything seem to like pop out of the page a little more, just a little bit of black. If you put too much black, it gets kind of overwhelming and dark. And this one, I want it to be like a bright page, but the black, if you notice, just the little black hints make the page like whew, pop out. So now all we're doing now is just kind of gluing and setting up the page. So let's do this first, because this is going to go on top of that. It's going to go like that. But yeah, I'm back in shorts, y'all. Shorts and like a tank top. I have this little shirt on top, but as soon as I thought we were getting some cold weather in, we did for a brief amount of time, and then it got hot again. Like, what? So again, my nose keeps running in and out because my poor body is like, is it hot? Is it cold? Do we turn the air on? Turn the heat on? I don't know. So my husband put the air back on. So it's in what? End of December, almost January, and we still have air conditioning on in our house. Isn't that crazy? Crazy. The other night, though, it was gorgeous. I had the windows open. I love sleeping with the windows open, especially when it's like cold, but not too cold. And we had the windows open, and I think I slept the best I've slept in a long while with just that fresh air coming in, the cold, brisk air, and waking up in the morning, and you're waking up under your covers all nice and toasty. But then you don't want to get out of bed in the morning. Like I had to go to the bathroom. I think it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, y'all know you're getting old when you can't sleep through the night anymore and you have to get up to go to the bathroom. So I got up and I did not want to get out of bed because I was like, oh, it's way too cold. I was so nice and toasty in bed. I'm like, I don't want to get out of bed. But, you know, nature called. So I had to. So I got out of bed, ran to the bathroom, came back, and like just jumped into bed. I was like, oh, it's so nice. And, you know, I just love the chilly weather. But not when you have to get out of bed. But it's so nice when you get under the covers and you're like, oh, it's just, you know, just that warmth. It's like a cocoon, I guess. I just love it. Okay, I'm doing those a little wonky. And then we're going to glue this. But again, being thankful. So I do, I've mentioned before, way back in the day, probably I haven't mentioned it in a while, about keeping a grateful journal. And I've kept many throughout the years. And that is one thing that you really can do that will switch your perspective on things. So if for any reason, because I know holidays can be a hard time for people. I mean, believe me, I've been there. You know, the holidays, the older I get, they do get a little harder, I think. in different ways. And so, yeah, let me, I think I'm going to do it the same type of colors. Okay. So anyways, talking about the Grateful Journal, I've kept one for many, many years, and it really does shift your perspective on things. So sometimes when you feel like you're just not in the mood, or you're just having bad day, bad week, bad month, whatever it may be, sometimes we need to shift our perspective and just start being thankful for the things we do have, and stop dwelling on the things we don't have, or the things that are going wrong, or whatever it may be. Because, like yesterday, I had an off day. I just woke up and I was just like, just something's wrong. I'm just not feeling it today. Like I'm just, like I was just kind of in a bum mood. I'm like, what is making me feel like this? And I couldn't put my fingers on it. And I called my husband. I was just like, I'm just like in a state today. I'm like in some kind of whatever. And so what I ended up doing is putting on music, some of my favorite music, and just turning off all the lights in the house. I lit one of my favorite candles. I sat with my Grateful Journal and just kind of, quieted my brain and wrote a few things in my Grateful Journal. And there are days, and sometimes you can't think of anything to write, like anything. Well, if you're breathing, if you can see your Grateful Journal, that means you've got eyesight. If you, can taste food, whatever it may be, that is something to be grateful for. So sometimes you have to stretch and kind of really think, like, on days that you just like, I got nothing to be grateful for. Well, those are the days that then just look at the basics. Look at the basics. You've got a roof over your head, perhaps. You've got loved ones. You've got, whether whatever it may be. You have your dog. You have your health. You have eyesight. Whatever it may be, it's something to be grateful for. But anyway, so that's what I did yesterday. And I wrote in my Grateful Journal, and I just wrote a few things. And then I just I laid on the couch with all the lights off, with my candle going, with my music going in the background quietly. It was like a really dim, quiet, music in the background. And I just laid there for a while, for about an hour, and just quieted my mind and didn't really do anything. I just laid there and listened to the music. And sometimes I just closed my eyes, and it really did help. It got me in like a whole new, frame of mind, I guess, whatever was bothering me. And I still don't even know what it was. I just woke up in kind of like a funk. And sometimes there's days like that, and I didn't want to journal. I didn't want to Bible journal. I didn't want to do anything. I'm like, just something's going on. I'm just in a funk. I'm just not in the mood. And so that's what I did. And so this is kind of, this really, it's just so weird again. Like, it's just one of those verses that God is reminding me. And he's like, you kind of did this yesterday. You were giving thanks, even though you didn't know what to give thanks for. And you just kind of quieted your mind. And that's what I did. And it that helped. I'm not saying yesterday was perfect, but, and I think a lot of it was I needed a good night of sleep. I haven't had a good night of sleep in a while too. So I got a really good night of sleep last night, which again helped. I felt when I woke up this morning, it was like night and day, felt totally better. So I was like, well, there you go. Sometimes a good night of sleep is all it takes as well. So there you have it, y'all. But yeah, a Grateful Journal sometimes can really, really change your perspective on things. And you realize how much you do have to be grateful for, especially on days where you're like, I have nothing to be grateful for. Like, everything is CRAP right now, whatever mood you have. Sometimes all you need to do is, I'm going to tuck that in, is think about the things you can't be grateful for. And that's part of all this. In everything, give thanks. And even, I look back on all my really hard trials in life, and I wouldn't trade them for the world now. Of course, you don't want to go through them or what have you, but let me see. I'm not sure if I want to do that and cover all that. But I look back on them now, and it's those big trials that I've gone through that made me who I am today. It's those big trials that make you strong. It's those big trials that strengthened my faith. who, like it made me the person that I am today. So as I've been chatting, I realize, oh my gosh, y'all, the page is done. Look at that. Incredible. Super quick, super fun. But I was just chatting along, and I don't even remember crafting as I was talking. I was just kind of gluing and what have you. And there we go. The page just kind of like formed itself. I literally was not even thinking. I was just kind of not cutting, I already cut it all, but just kind of gluing and talking to y'all. Well, there we go. There's the page. So here, let me move this and then bring this up close. But yeah, so in everything, let me kind of wrap this up a little. In everything, give thanks. He is the giver of all good gifts. We've talked about that before. All of our blessings come down from heaven. He's the giver of good gifts. And we even learned in James, remember, we did that whole page on trials. Even our trials could be seen as gifts. And I'm going back to that, is like looking back on all my trials. It really did strengthen me as a person, strengthen me in my faith, strengthen me in just going about day-to-day life, knowing that like, okay, I was able to go through that and I came out the other side stronger and a better person. So next time another big trial comes through, I know I can get through it with the Lord's help and come out of it a stronger and better person. So even in your trials, in everything, give thanks. When you're feeling bad, give thanks. When you're feeling happy, give thanks. When you have days like yesterday, like I did, when you're just kind of in a funk, give thanks. Just give thanks, because it's just a small period of time and it will change. And thank God for that. But I love the fact that we can give thanks in everything, and that God he won't desert us. He won't disappoint us. That was the word I was trying to come up with. He will be there for us in everything. And when we give thanks, I think that makes us turn our focus, because our other page, remember, was being the apple of his eye, the pupil of his eye, being where is our focus. So when we give thanks, I think that shifts our focus from our bad circumstances or the things that we feel bummed about or whatever it may be. It shifts our perspective to something positive. So if you have not started a grateful journal or something like that, maybe you might want to this year. Maybe that could be your new goal for 2022 coming up. So anyways, that's my preaching for the day. And here's our page. So let me bring this up. So just some stamps in the background. And then these were from Keys of the Kingdom. I think in Everything Give Thanks. I'm not sure what the title of it was. I'd have to look back on that. But these were printables from there. And I just carried it over to the page. And again, it's 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 18. But it starts in 16. Rejoice always, pray without ceasing, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. And that's my will for you as well. Just all that y'all will be able to give thanks in everything. So thank y'all so much for joining me. I hope you have a very blessed day. I'll see you next time. Bye.